Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of September 21st through the 27th. And during that time, we do have a new moon that comes in on the 22nd, and that's a time for a fresh start, a new beginning, a good time to start new skills or new projects or make new decisions. Also, we then move into the waxing crescent energy, and that's a good time to, your senses are a little bit more heightened, and you can buckle down and start to get to work on those things that you've just started during that new moon energy. And it's a good time to plan and work and just kind of make those little adjustments as you are working through and towards your expectations and your intentions. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Leo. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is don't let pride get in your way, which is the card of the full moon in Leo. So, very interesting. Um, don't let pride get in your way. Better, easier said than done for the Leo collective, right? Well, that's just the way it goes. Leo, since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit that subscribe button right down there. It really helps my channel, and it is super easy for you to do. Please keep in mind that you do need to be logged into Google or YouTube to subscribe, but it's a great way to find me next week. And if you do enjoy my reading style, it would be great if you would hit that for me. It really helps me out, and I would appreciate that so much. So I'll give you a moment to do that now as I'm shuffling the cards for your reading. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and helping me build a community here. I see you and I do appreciate you. So thank you so much. All right, without further ado, let's get into this reading. Leo, September 21st through the 27th. Don't let pride get in your way. Leo's present energy this week is the Two of Wands. So, looking towards the future, it looks like you're kind of achieving your goals, and you're sitting there with the world in your hands and thinking, okay, am I going to stay here or am I going to go bigger? This is kind of a decision point, right? When it comes to the achievements of goals that you're doing well, and you're deciding, do I make a move, or am I going to stay here for a while? So that's fine. Either whatever you choose is, but that's what you're going to choose, right? Your current situation is the Six of Pentacles. So you're in a place of either, well, I actually, every time I see this card, I ask the person that I'm reading for, what's happening in this card? So I will ask that of you right now, Leo. What do you feel like is happening in that card? And for some of you, you will say, well, this person is obviously giving. For some of you, you will say these people are receiving, and kind of, I feel like what you see in that card at the moment is kind of where you are. So depending on what you saw, you're either in a place right now of, materially giving, or even, giving of your time or energy to something or someone. Or you're in a place where you're receiving that energy. Someone is helping you financially or emotionally, or kind of giving to you, and that's okay too. It just we all go through phases of both things. So, what is at the root of your situation this week is the Eight here of Swords. So you're feeling a little bit stuck and feeling kind of like, how did I get here? But this is the card of, really telling you to think your way out of it, or you're kind of in the process of thinking your way out of it. And it could be that there's some financial thing, you're thinking about the future, and you're kind of feeling like you are a little bit stuck. And how do I get out of this? And how do I do out of it while I'm able to give, or while I'm in receiving mode? So think about all of those things in your recent past here. We've got the 10 of Wands. So you've kind of finished something up, or had something to come to fruition, and you've just wrapped it up here with the 10, um, which always causes you again to think, that you've achieved some goal. And it does cause us to go, oh, excuse me, am I going to stay here or go bigger? Make sure my camera's adjusted correctly there. I mean to whack my camera. So that happens when we get to places where we're having that sort of achievement, that you just kind of ask yourself, okay, well, what's next? So and that is kind of your big question is are you feeling a little bit stuck? And if you are, get yourself out of it. That's what you can do. What's on your mind this week is, yeah, a little bit of dissatisfaction. So, that's you're at this decision point. And if you are dissatisfied and if you are feeling a little bit stuck, then maybe it is time for a change. Don't let pride get in your way. If you're feeling that it does, then don't let it. Allow yourself to get in a place um, where you have to be a little bit more humble. And again, maybe you're in this receiving mode, which is not typically where a Leo might find themselves, but you might have to be. And that could be receiving of knowledge or, education, someone around you has something to share with you that's helpful. Again, it doesn't have to be monetary. What is just ahead of you this week is lots of decisions here with the 7 of Cups. So, um, you've got a lot of moving parts in all of this. You've got decisions to make, you know. Um, I don't think you're going to stay where you're at. I feel like you are feeling a little bit stuck, and this could be in so many different. Tarot is a template. For some of you, this could be feeling stuck in a relationship. Maybe you're feeling stuck in a job. Maybe you're feeling stuck in your educational process or stuck in your routine. So find that template that where you're feeling a little bit stuck, and go ahead and place this over that, because that's exactly what's going on, and you just need to make the changes that you can to change that so that you don't feel stuck in a relationship or stuck in a job or stuck in your routine. Only you can make those changes. And again, don't let pride get in your way. If you were wrong in the past and you need to make a change, go ahead and make that change. It'll feel better in the future if you do. In your advice position is the Page of Cups. So this is also saying lighten up a little bit. Lighten up. This is kind of our joker, our funny guy, when it comes to the pages, but it's also about light emotions, not nothing super heavy. This whole feeling, this dissatisfaction, this seems very heavy at this point. Take a breath. Take a breath and laugh a little bit. Laugh a little bit at how you are in the situation, whatever it is that you're feeling stuck in. You have to have a sense of humor as you get through it. What is beyond your control this week is, yeah, looking towards the future. I'm not shocked to see this card with the 6 of Swords here. That you're definitely, this is the second card we've had here. I want you to look at how many people in the readings have their backs turned towards us, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is that card of looking towards the future, because it's someone, you're looking at the back of someone. So, and that's okay. Go ahead and do that at this time. What is your secret desire, or what you're trying to avoid is the 4 of Swords. So, is it your secret desire to kind of go within, to do that proper rest and meditation, to think these things through, or are you just flying off the handle and making decisions quickly? And I will say that there's quite a few swords in this reading, and they've seriously been lacking in the rest of the readings for this week for everyone else, which it's been an interesting thing. So it's interesting to see them so many in your reading. But take that time. This is because of the position of this card, which is it your secret desire to go within, to really think about what it is that you want to make the changes on, what you're frustrated about, or are you trying to avoid that altogether? But use your sense of humor. That's a big question you need to ask yourself. And it's okay either way. You may be trying to avoid that, and maybe you get to it next week. But if you're, just make that decision. And so that, that's kind of a big question for you this week. In your outcome position is the Devil. So there you go. Maybe you don't get to the best decision at the end of the week. And maybe you are going to feel a little bit stuck. For everyone else, it's been a very, lots of emotion and passion this week. And here's your card, or your reading, where you do have lots of choices, but I'm not sure if you even get to that decision point yet. And I do feel that kind of wavering, and it's the pride. Don't let that get in your way. You may have to make a decision um, that you previously wouldn't have, because you want to move forward. And so the Devil is definitely the representative of false truths, and not having as much confidence. This could even be fear of success, or just being a little closed-minded, or being in denial that the thing that you thought was correct previously is not the correct thing for now. So again, don't let pride get in your way. Make the good decisions that you need to. And if this goes into next week, which it looks like it does, I don't think this even wraps up. That's fine also. Life doesn't happen in a week. So what is hidden from you this week is celebration here with the Four of Wands. So, yeah, I don't think you're going to reach really a big conclusion. I will also say that I'm seeing 3 4s on the table with 4 here, 4 4. A number that I see all the time in my own life. So if that has some significance to you, or you may want to look up that angel number to see if it does for you, if that message means anything for you this week. So, all right, let's see what the Soul Oracle deck has to say for this reading. I'm going to go ahead and relook again. Looking at the future after something wraps up, lots of decisions coming in. Do you rest and meditate or not and think about it? Definitely keep your wits about you. It's beyond your control that you're thinking about your future here, but I don't see you're coming to. I feel like the devil kind of gets in your way. And that's where, you know, don't let pride get in your way, but don't let that devil get in there with that lack of confidence. Also, you can do anything you want. And you're not celebrating this week, but that doesn't mean that that card may not show up next week. So, all right, Leo, let's get a look here from the Soul Oracle deck. A final word on this reading. Count your blessings. So, a good week to do that, even if you're not making changes. Look around. Are you in a good position, giving, receiving? Count your blessings always. That's just, it's always really good advice to be grateful. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care for the week. Self-care for this week. Decision. Sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. That's so funny because that's where I feel like you are with this reading, is that you're thinking about it. And again, life doesn't happen in a week. Come back next week and we'll see if you get to this decision point. You may just be avoiding it, but just keep your wits about you and your sense of humor about you this week. So, Leo, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know what's going on. Let me know, what you're not making a decision on this week, and what this reading might mean to you, what's going on for you guys out there. So also, if you like my reading style, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps my channel, but more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, and we'll see where this story goes. And maybe you do get to a decision point then. So thank you so much, Leo, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.